Hello and good afternoon. You're watching the Get Clear Show. I'm Laura Wing. I'm your host. Once again, we have a fascinating episode for you. As you can see, I am again sitting here with Mr. Invisible. Welcome, Mr. Invisible, to the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, as many of you know, those of you anyway who have been following our series with Mr. Invisible, we have learned an awful lot about him. We know that you have just recently started using your invisibility to go to different places and find out different things that most of us would only dream about. And I understand that most recently you decided to find out if Santa Claus is real and if the North Pole and the elves and all of that actually exist. Is that right?
Well, yes, I thought that would be a wonderful little adventure. I found a military plane that was going to one of those military bases up there where they have the radar towers that used to look for cruise missiles and missiles coming over from Russia over the North Pole. And so I found a flight. It was a little difficult to get onto it. I'll have to tell you the story of the military base I had got onto later.
Oh, yes. Off camera, I assume?
Oh, well, yeah, the details anyway. But it was an exciting adventure.
So you get on this plane, you head to the North Pole, and you are in search of Santa Claus. Is that right?
Well, yes, I had my compass, and I found after I got there that there were still sled dog teams that they didn't really watch real well. And so I figured I'd probably have to do it the old-fashioned way. I used to be a bit of an outdoorsman in my youth, and so
I see. Let me interrupt you and ask a question. Are you cold?
Well, no.
I mean, when you're in the elements like that, being invisible and everything. I know in our last episode you had shared with us that you had found a way to sort of put on some military gear that would be invisible with you. And so were you able to find warm enough gear for this adventure?
Well, this time for on the flight, I used my normal techniques of just old clothing that wore them too long, and was able to get onto the plane. But after I got there, I put on this Eskimo gear. I put on a parka, I put on gloves, I put on boots, I put on regular snow pants.
Wow.
And a mask to keep my face warm, and I looked like everybody else. It was fun.
And I understand that once something has touched your skin long enough, it too turns invisible. So you blended in at first, but what happened when your gear turned invisible?
Well, it was cold enough. I don't think I sweated any oils out or anything. My gear never turned invisible the whole time I was there.
That is just something. All right, so here you are, sled dogs and all, and tell us, did you find Santa Claus?
Well, I got to where I thought the magnetic north was supposed to be, where all the pictures show where the submarine had popped through the ice and everything, and there was a hole.
What do you mean a hole?
Like a large hole. It must have been 30, 40 miles across, and it went straight down forever.
Well,
I tried.
Was anybody else around this hole?
Well, there was actually a fence kind of around it, so I'm guessing there was wire fence, there was an electronic fence, there was lots and lots of cameras. I kind of peeked around where a pole was.
Wait, there's cameras around this hole and a fence around this hole. Is that where Santa Claus lives?
I don't believe I saw any elves. I did see strange things going in and out. In fact, I was kind of curious because I saw things that could go up the side of the wheel. I was scared to stay long because my dogs, and like I said, I was being seen.
Well, how interesting. Did you get to go down the hole?
No, I did get scared. I mean, it was 30 miles or more across. It looked like looking across a giant lake, and I was able to peer across and see creatures, mechanical vehicles going in and out. There was guard shacks, there was posts. In fact, I got a little nervous. They did start to chase me there for a while. I did have to lose my clothing and
They
go
chased you?
invisible for a while.
And you had
Yes.
to lose your clothing. Did you get cold?
Oh yeah, it was a little cold. I mean, you know, it was,
Goodness.
but it was. I was able to lose them and then hide in their vehicles.
Smart
And,
thinking.
yes.
Smart thinking.
Did
Yes.
they end up back at a military base?
Really?
And from the military base, I was able to find my way back to this country. Eventually, it took a round trip, but we made
Mr. Invisible, I'm going to stop and ask you. This seems very interesting to me, and I'm sure to many of our viewers. So, again, you go to the North Pole, you look at the coordinates that you think you might be able to find Santa Claus at, and instead you find a hole about 30 miles across, surrounded by a fence, and what appears to be, from your account, military-type personnel guarding this hole. And they chased you off. I would think, and I'm sure most people would think, there's some type of conspiracy going on there. What is in this hole?
I'm not really sure. It, like I said, it went down very, very far. I could not see the bottom of it. And the vehicles and tracked vehicles that were going up and down this looked like something from a science fiction movie.
Really?
It was just unreal. I'm nervous, but I'm going to try to make another attempt down there sometime in the future. I'm just going to wait a long time before, so everything can calm down and settle down. And
When you
I don't
were
want
back
to-
at the military base, did you hear any chatter from amongst the people that might indicate what was in this hole?
Well, they were thinking that somebody from the hole is what had gotten out.
Oh.
And so when they were shooting at me,
Somebody
they thought,
from the hole?
yes. Now
I don't understand.
I'm saying they said them guys, because it's the military guys saying those guys came out of that hole, and I don't know how they got our gear, but that's where they were. So we're searching everybody, and I'm really getting tired of getting searched every time one of these things happens.
Really? Oh,
So
it was an
I'm wondering-
inconvenience for them.
Well, yeah, they were.
Let's see.
Well, they got strip searched or something is what
Oh.
they were talking. And
Oh, you really
didn't
caused a
wanna-
lot of
I
problems
didn't
then.
want to cause problems, but yeah.
Oh, well, let me tell you, I am excited to find out what happens when you go back to, and I'm assuming you're going back. You said you
Well,
would like to know.
I do want to go back to the large pit. I mean, you know, I read through the Bible and stuff, and they talk about a pit where the locusts come out of in Revelation and stuff, and it's like, well, that sounds like awful scary. That there is a bottomless pit on the North Pole.
Oh my goodness.
And that's there. I need to
Oh,
I need to come up with a better plan for getting there. In the meantime, I've got a lot of other places I plan on getting to visit, but I don't want to forewarn anybody that I'm going there, so I'll tell you about them off the air, of course.
well, I understand. I do. Safety first, right?
Safety first, yes.
Mr. Invisible, thank you so much for being with us today, and I look forward to, and I'm sure many of us look forward to, finding out what's in this pit. What is in this hole that you're talking about? It just sounds like such a big cover-up to me, so I'm anxious to find out. And I want to express my gratitude and my appreciation to you for taking so many risks with your very life, and for using your invisibility to do things that will enlighten the rest of us on subjects that we would not otherwise be privy to. So thank you so much for being here. And I do appreciate everything that you've done for us and for the Get Clear show. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And once again, please keep in mind that to be safe out there. You never know that if you changing your path too quickly, you might run into somebody that can't be seen.
Yes, again, please be mindful of the unseen. You've been watching the Get Clear show. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day.